live from Kansas City as we prepare for America's Game of the Week on Fox. It is a Super Bowl rematch. It is a crowd that is a little bit hostile to your old buddy Kevin Wildes. Because, Brew, maybe I have not supported the Chiefs with my whole heart 100% of the time alongside Chris Broussard. I am Kevin Wildes. Brew, welcome to Kansas City.
Let me say something, Wildes. Let me say something to the whole crowd. I don't like Kansas City. I love it! I love Kansas City! Yeah!
We are missing Kansas City's favorite son, who decided to make a grander entrance.
And the mayor of Kansas City.
Welcome here as well.
I love it.
It's a pleasure to have you. It's an honor to have you. Thank you again.
Hey, welcome to Kansas City, everybody. Welcome back, Kevin Wildes.
Thank you.
No longer excommunicated.
Oh, wow.
There is some history to that, though.
Yeah.
And Brew,
Great to see you,
your
man.
Ravens, man. I'm sorry about it. But welcome to the Hall Championship.
He'll be back. Yeah, and there is, you're right, some history, Mr. Mayor. It's weird calling you Mr. Mayor when you played high school basketball together. About Kevin Wildes, is he or is he not excommunicated? For people who are new, let's go ahead and take a listen.
If you want to watch this week, the mayor of Kansas City excommunicated Kevin Wildes from Chiefs Kingdom. He then started just demanding other famous Chiefs fans excommunicate him. Well, let's just play it for you. Just play it, please. This is why the mayor of Kansas City had this to say to you.
Kevin Wildes, you have been excommunicated from Chiefs Kingdom.
If I don't hear it from Stone Street, it's not official.
Hello, Kevin Wildes.
Wait, what?
You've been excommunicated from Chiefs Kingdom.
Wow.
If I don't hear it from Tech 9, not official.
Kevin Wildes, you've been excommunicated from the Red Kingdom, Tech 9.
If I don't hear it from Paul Rudd.
Hey, Kevin Wildes. You're excommunicated from Chiefs Kingdom. Effective immediately.
Beloved in Kansas City, everybody knows that. Oh, really? Yeah, does Vinny Pasquantino, the Pasquatch, know that?
Kevin Wildes, you are no longer beloved in Kansas City.
Well, that's interesting.
What's the population in Kansas City? One?
Whale's
attendance.
Wow.
I'm beloved in Kansas
Quite
City.
the journey.
Yes.
It is an amazing journey. But to the crowd, we love Kevin, don't we? Because he,
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So Kevin's going to do right and pick the Chiefs this week, right? Well, Kevin, if you do right, I'm ready to declare it if you pick the Chiefs. Kevin Wildes Day in Kansas City.
Wow.
You're going to get a holiday
Wow.
if you do your job. So it's up to you, but Kevin, do right by Chiefs Kingdom so you can be part of Kansas City.
Well, thank you, Mayor. As you know, I'm beloved in Kansas City, so it's great to see everybody here.
Kevin Wildes Day,
Kevin
bro.
Wildes Day is very kind.
It is Kevin Wildes Day. Y'all have a great show. Kevin, do right. Brew, I'm already sorry. The Ravens ain't doing it this year.
Picks in 1 hour. 1 hour we'll have our picks, maybe 2 hours.
And Nick, we will see you for the Super Bowl celebration.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Wow. The show is going to Philadelphia. Amazing. Mayor, the great. Thank you, Mayor, as always. We're starting the show. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
to see you. We are starting with America's Game of the Week, Sunday at 4 on Fox. Eagles favored by 1.5 points Their last matchup was Eagles by 18, although it did get closer once Sirianni was covered in confetti and Gatorade. Chris Jones was asked about the Super Bowl rematch, and he said that result still stings.
I'm glad Chris is being honest. There is a bad taste in the Chiefs' mouth, because not just because they lost the Super Bowl, but as Wildes has made the point again and again and again, even when we were talking about basketball at times, it would seem a reminder that they were down 34-0.
Yes.
That they were dominated in that Super Bowl. And I think it is noteworthy that they have not played in front of these fans since they made the Super Bowl. The last time the Chiefs played in Arrowhead, they were on the doorstep of becoming the greatest team in NFL history. Now, a lot's changed since then. 2 whole games have been played, and now, of course, they are this wounded, once-were juggernaut. But I think the crowd this weekend is worth 3 or 4 points by itself. The last time they were in a game in that stadium was the AFC Championship game where the crowd delivered, and I think they're going to do it again this weekend.
Look, I love this crowd. They're wild here. I can imagine what they're going to be like in Arrowhead on Sunday, but here's the problem, Nick.
Yeah.
They don't just need 3 or 4 points.
Well, no.
They need like 34 points. All right, can you give them 34 points? I gotta keep it real, Kansas City. And so, look, I will say this about Chris Jones and his comments. I would expect nothing less from him or any of the Chiefs, because even as the media is starting to question the Chiefs and are they still great and all that, not in that locker room, they're not questioning themselves. I don't care how many games they lose. They have been on not losing streaks, but had, down points of the season before.
They've been doubted
before.
Yes.
They have won so many championships, overcome so much adversity. They've seen it all that they believe. So I like that from Chris Jones. He obviously, and everybody in that locker room has championship medal. So that's what you expect to hear from him. But they're going to need the crowd and then everybody to play great to overcome this Eagles team.
We kicked around doing a must-win segment.
Yeah.
Brew didn't like it because he was like, are we doing must-win or are we doing actual must-win? So you vetoed the segment. That being said, 30 teams started 0-2 over the previous 4 seasons. 5 made the playoffs, 3 last year. Are you at all nervous about the specter of starting 0-2 and having Mahomes lose 3 games for the first time in his career?
No, so listen, I want to make this very clear. The Eagles are a very good team that last year was a great team. And we'll see if they're a great team this year. I don't yet know that. But obviously, the Eagles can win on Sunday. I don't think they will. I will spoil my pick. I'll be picking the Chiefs. I don't know about these guys. And
big reveal coming up.
I think 0-2 especially, I know you're really asking it from a more of an emotional than logical perspective.
A little bit of both.
But I don't think being 0-2 when there are reasons to believe the team is going to be better as the year goes on, not just people coming back, but leaning on, a remade offensive line with a rookie left tackle, those types of leaning on some young defensive players to get better. But I want to, if I may, I'm not trying to ignore your question,
no, it's okay.
to go back to Chris, because I know there was a lot of discussion, some of which from, my dear poker buddy and our colleague, Rob Gronkowski, about that moment between Chris and Drew Tranquill being a bad thing. And not only do I disagree with Gronk, I think it's the opposite. I think the fact that a team that has been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, that has won 2 of the last 3, cares that much about a week 1 game when they know it's a long season is better than the opposite, which is, it'll be fine. We're the Chiefs. We're going to be there. And so I liked the fact, and I also liked the fact that this is a team that a player like Drew Tranquill, who's a good player, feels a license to yell at a player like Chris Jones, who's a future first ballot Hall of Famer. I actually like that, and I don't think they're going to come apart in any way.
Not at all. Look, despite the specter of being 0-2 looming over this game, if I'm the Chiefs, I love being in this situation because you're coming off a bad loss in the opening game against the Chargers. What better way to wipe that from your memory and let everybody know that you're still here than beating the defending Super Bowl champs that beat you a few months ago?
All right.
So they got a great opportunity here.
All right, this will be the 5th matchup between Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Regular season is split 2-2. Super Bowls are split 1-1. Regular season teams are split. Both teams are 40-12 over the last 4 years. Here's the career head-to-head, how the numbers look. I want to point your attention to 320 total yards for Jalen Hurts. Consistently lights up the Chiefs' defense, which is good, but Jalen seems to have an answer. Does Mahomes finally have a rival in Jalen Hurts, bro?
No question. Jalen Hurts is now the rival of Patrick Mahomes. Now, he's not as good as Mahomes individually, but the fact that he's not only, he's beaten him in the last 2 games they played in, one of them the Super Bowl, and then played him tough in the other Super Bowl. So they are meeting every criteria for a rivalry in that they've met in the biggest games, the championship moments. One is 1-1, the other has 1-1. And Hurts, while not as good individually as Mahomes, has risen to the occasion and outplayed him in some of these games. So he is absolutely, look, Joe Burrow was viewed as a rival just for beating Mahomes in a AFC championship game. How much more should Hurts be considered a rival for beating him in the Super Bowl?
All right, well, so here's the thing. And the Super Bowl versus conference championship game, to me, is circumstantial in this regard. If you're in Mahomes' conference, you can't ever beat him in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, Burrow, they played as far as they possibly can play. So I'm going to use an example that Wilds won't like, Brew might, which is Joe Flacco was never Tom Brady's rival. Flacco beat him in their first...
Joe Flacco?
Well, hold on. Wilds, hold on. He also had an unbelievable playoff run with the Super Bowl MVP, where he had a 120 passer rating in the playoffs, 11 touchdowns, 0 picks, and blew out Brady in the AFC Championship game a couple years after he had blown out Brady in a divisional round game. Like, there were people did not look at Flacco as Brady's caliber, of course, and I don't think people look at Hurts as Mahomes' caliber, and they were never rivals despite playing on the biggest stage they could play on, given the fact that they were in the same conference. Go ahead, bro.
Well, here's my answer to that, and even if you want to bring up Eli Manning, which I know you did the other day, neither Eli Manning nor Joe Flacco is as good as Jalen Hurts. Hurts, remember, was second in the MVP voting a few years ago.
No, I understand
So neither Flacco nor Eli ever hit that. Hurts has won 70% of his regular season games. Eli was at 50% exactly, so they weren't on the level of Hurts. That's how I would answer that.
No, listen, I think he's a better player than both those guys. I also think Flacco, off that playoff run, became the highest paid player in the league. It was a perfect playoff run. But I think here's my real answer. And then I'm going to show you back-to-back, I think 9 full screens. He does not, Patrick Mahomes has one rival. It is Tom Brady. There's other, there is no, you're right, Brew. People tried to make it Burrow, and people tried to make it Lamar, and people have tried to make it Josh, and now it's Jalen Hurts' turn. But, and I understand Jalen, they won the Super Bowl, and Jalen was great. Well, Joe Burrow beat him. Joe Burrow beat him in the conference championship game.
Well,
they can't play.
But I get that. But the Super Bowl is still bigger than the conference.
No, that's fair. But so here is, for someone to have, your point about Hurts versus those guys is, Hurts is just better than those guys, right? That he's just better than Eli, he's just better than Flacco.
That and also the time when Eli and Flacco were beating Brady, no one was looking for a Tom Brady rival because Brady had won his championships earlier, 3 of them, but he wasn't considered like a great individual player at that point. And he had gone through a stretch where he was not winning Super Bowls.
Just to be clear, when Flacco beat him, that was after the undefeated season. That was after Brady was
I get all that, but he had gone a while without winning a Super Bowl. But if Mahomes goes the next 6 years without winning a Super Bowl, we won't be like, well, who's his rival? It'll just, you won't go there.
So the point that, the reason I asked it was not actually to get more into Flacco and Eli, because Wilds will leave even though we're live in Kansas City. I know he hates that.
Let's talk about Joe Flacco.
It's because just like you're saying Hurts is just better than those players, Mahomes is just better than these guys.
and we can go one by one. So let me just do it though quickly.
Let's see it.
Here's the head-to-head. Wilds is a wins guy. That's fine. Mahomes has 53 more with only 5 more losses. The playoff record, the MVPs, all of that. And then we can do this for all the other guys who they have said, is that his rival? No, Mahomes has every single, you can roll through them, Dust, person beat in every single category, and or at least tied with Lamar and MVPs. The Burrow one, who we were told is supposed to be his rival, is, to me, the most interesting point there is Burrow somehow, for the quarterback wins, folks, has 4 more losses and 80 fewer wins. But I'm not a quarterback wins guy, Brew. I am a numbers guy. I'm a quarterback wins piece of it, fine. The stats are, if we put those 5 guys, Wild's top 5, that he thinks should be the top 5. A passer rating, by the way, Mahomes is number 1 of them all. We don't have the graphic. Total touchdowns, Mahomes is number 1 by a mile. Burrow and Hurts, by the way, argument for Hurts. They played the same number of games, same number of touchdowns. Winning percentage, if you want to go to that mark, Mahomes is number 1, and then they're fighting for the other spots. Dust, you can roll whatever the next one is. I think it's yards per game. Mahomes is number 1. Okay, that's not mine, but that's fine.
Love it.
That's yours.
Love it.
And the point that I was trying to make is passer rating, touchdown, yards per game, record, all of it. If he's won in everything and he has a better resume than everyone, then can we accept he doesn't actually have a rival? That these guys are, he's the only player in the league that it is a benefit to your resume for playing great in a loss. Josh Allen, part of his thing is the 13 seconds game. Jalen Hurts, part of his thing is the Super Bowl. There's no other guy who's measured like that. So we want there to be a rival.
He's got to win.
We're not there yet.
He's got to win on Sunday then.
So if he
Hurts can't win 3 consecutive games against Patrick Mahomes to be like, not a rival. And Jalen Hurts might be like, yeah, you're probably right.
Hold on, but KW, you keep saying 3 consecutive games. Does it not matter at all to you that in between, Hurts has won 2 in a row. In between the first and the second win for Hurts, was a stretch where his team fell apart. They lost their first playoff game and he was bad. And Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP. We're still going there?
No, but if it's just, I think that's valid, but they still got to the playoffs. So it was a down year for him. He just got to the playoffs. He didn't get to the Super Bowl.
But, Nick, no one is – I'm not saying that if Hurts wins on Sunday, he's better than Mahomes. I'm not going there. I think they're at different levels individually. But if he consistently beats him, particularly in big games, particularly in Kansas City, then I do think for a guy that, you're right, hasn't had a rival besides Tom Brady, does finally have a rival. Because if they were to meet in the Super Bowl, if Hurts beats him Sunday and they meet in the Super Bowl, a big part of the discussion will be, Jalen Hurts, does he have Mahomes' number?
I guess here is where I'll meet you halfway. I think the Eagles are the Chiefs' rival. I do think that. I think that's fair. I think that the Chiefs have been to 3 of the last 3 Super Bowls. The Eagles have been to 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. The winning percentages, they're the tops in the league. Like you said, their down year for Philadelphia is still making the playoffs. Like, I will grant you that the Chiefs don't have, at this point, an AFC rival, but they do have a rival in Philadelphia from a team perspective. I think from an individual perspective, Patrick Mahomes' rivals are ghosts and retired. Like, that is who he's chasing.
All right, we're gonna
by the way, if we're scoring the arguments, because this is competitive sports debate, as you know, by crowd reaction.
I know,
guys,
my man over here.
Andy Reid's here.
Oh, Andy Reid's here. All right, let's focus a little bit on the running game. Saquon had a quiet week 1 as the Cowboys stacked the box in 12 of his 18 carries. Also had a moderately quiet Super Bowl. Both the Chiefs and the Cowboys challenging Jalen Hurts to beat them, to which he said, okay, we'll do. Here's Saquon's last 2 games, Brew. 25 rushes, 18 rushes, has yet to break 60 yards. He had 60 exactly. Yards per rush down. He did have the rushing touchdown. But do you expect a huge game from Saquon on Sunday?
Saquon is absolutely right. It depends on what poison the Chiefs pick. Do they pick the poison of, you know what, we're going to stop Saquon and make Jalen Hurts beat us, because we believe, he's not as good at his position as Saquon is at his, then they will stop Saquon like they did in the Super Bowl and run the risk of Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and these others getting going. If they decide, you know what, we tried that and we lost badly the last time we played.
It was ugly.
Let's stop the passing game and see what we can do with Saquon Barkley. Then he will make them pay. He is a tremendous running back, and if you don't stack the box and make it a priority to stop him, he will punish you. I think, Nick, look, if I'm choosing between making Saquon or Jalen Hurts beat me,
I'm making
Jalen Hurts beat me. So I think they'll stack the box and stop him. But the question is, will Jalen make him pay?
I mean, you say it hasn't worked yet. You are correct, but your point that this team has won 17 in a row, and when Saquon was en route to 2,000 yards, that approach didn't work for teams either. The Eagles were winning games. It is, if people, and again, I've only done this once, and I don't recommend it, but if you go and rewatch the Super Bowl, it's not fun. I am actually fine with the Chiefs' defensive performance. I know it sounds crazy because, just let me explain, because they allowed 40 points. Well, 7's a pick 6. Another 7 was a turnover right in the red zone. And the offense had so little production that, because we look at it as Saquon didn't, have a monster game. Did Hurts threw for what, 260? 220. So I think the Super Bowl was so dramatically about the Eagles offense dominating Eagles defense dominating the Chiefs offense that I will take my chances with if we can hold Saquon Barkley to one of his least productive games, as an Eagle, as they did in the Super Bowl. Let's see what the Eagles offense looks like. Like, I think that is fair. And this is all a part of the reasoning that evaluating Jalen Hurts as an individual can be tricky, because Saquon's not trying to, he's not taking a shot at all. But the implication of what he's saying is teams know that when you play our team, I'm the guy you got a game plan for. And so like that, you have to stack the box. You have to focus on me. And I actually think that is smart. Like, I do think that is what teams should do. I think it's what Dallas did. Now, Dallas, again, before those weather delay, Philadelphia moved the ball at will. Like, you were right. It is a pick your poison situation. But I am certain that if you give Saquon Barkley good looks with that offensive line, if you have light boxes with that Eagles offensive line, he's going to have a great game. I'm not certain that if you dare Jalen Hurts to beat you, he's going to beat you. He's proven he can, but it's not a guarantee the way I feel like it is for Saquon. So I think the Chiefs defense, oddly, is going to have a very similar game plan to the Super Bowl, and they just hope the offense provides some help and some resistance. I think that's what it's going to be.
Okay.
What do you
I think that's unwise.
What do you think? Then what do you think they should do?
I think you should try to stop Jalen Hurts.
But what does that mean? Really? So you think they should? Like, I'm just curious. That's the poison they should pick. I am with Nick on that.
I don't know. I think that's
stopping Saquon.
That's what makes him so good. The Cowboys tried to stop Saquon, did a good job. They also shut down the wide receivers, but Jalen Hurts still won the game. That's the challenge.
Well, Hurts won it with his legs.
Yes, that counts. That's part of him.
All right.
Part of his body.
Look, you know what? It's not looking like Kevin Wild's day so far.
I'm telling you. And
I owe you honesty.
I got to say one other thing. Fellas, you guys step up close to the stage. You know who I'm talking to. Look at what you've done to me, Kevin Wild.
What did I do?
Toss it. Throw it. You throw it. Let's go.
I'm with that.
This guy.
I'm with that.
That guy.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
This guy brought fresh socks.
Thank goodness.
Kevin Wildes lied to America first and said, I take my socks off on a plane.
Well, now you have new ones.
And then retracted his lie and said, I only take my shoes off, but I have dirty socks.
Well, now they're
today, you see the socks
Those are
today,
nice.
though?
Oh, okay.
Chief socks.
Those are nice.
That's right, buddy. That's right.
All right, Greg, we're going to talk about your former team and their win over the Commanders last night. Commanders drew within 7. But then Jordan Love put his foot on the gas to put the game out of reach. Packers improved to 2-0, 9-point victory. Mike and the Packers defense, huge fans of the show. You hear him after the game?
Yeah.
Defense wins championship. Trademark. Brew, what did the Packers prove with their win last night?
Nothing to me.
Oh,
Because a few weeks ago, I told America that these boys are going to the Super Bowl. And some people didn't even pick them to make the playoffs, all right? Some people didn't believe they were even legitimate Super Bowl contenders, and that's what they proved last night. 2-0, 2 runaway victories over 2 Super Bowl contenders, we believe, the Lions and the Commanders. And what don't they do well? You got a very good quarterback who is getting better. He's right now, J-Lo's passer rating in the first 2 weeks, 120. 4 touchdowns, no picks. They can run the football with one of the best running backs in the league, Josh Jacobs. They have a plethora of wide receivers. Heck, Jaden Reed, maybe their best receiver, got hurt. The rookie hasn't really gotten his footing yet, Matthew Golden. And now you got a tight end who's getting busy too. Defensively, Micah Parsons has changed everything.
Everything.
The defense was already very good. But now him with the pass rush has made the defensive backs better. And so they don't have to cover for as long, but for how long they have to cover, they are breaking up passes. So the Green Bay Packers are for real.
If I may real quick.
Yep.
Because KW, you noticed that too, right?
What?
Through reminding America correctly.
Absolutely, I'm reminding
that he
you.
had the Packers. He had the courage to pick the Packers
Yes.
to win the NFC.
Yeah.
If only there was someone on stage who could one-up that, who had picked the Packers to win the whole thing.
I mean,
that
was cute.
That was cute.
That was cute. But I got them winning the Super Bowl. And the reason why is because of what we've seen these first 2 weeks. Like they reinforced what we saw and what if you had any question about them is being fluky or that was just the Micah emergence and that was just electricity because of the trade and all the things and all the hype. No, Jeff Hafley has this defense locked, loaded, and you mentioned their cornerbacks. Keyshawn Nixon and the guys, Valentine and all the other guys, they have a level of confidence now that they know that they can come into the season with. And only players like Micah, and there's not many, can pump that into your locker room without even stepping on the field. You put him on the field and you understand that I don't have to cover as long. I already have confidence in my own ability, but now I don't have to cover as long. Oh, we're definitely going to be special because I'm going to be able to make plays. And Jordan Love, he has one job. And I think he's going to
turn the ball over.
Don't turn the ball over.
Correct. And listen, Jordan Love now becomes, to me, the most interesting player in the league.
Yeah. Huh.
Because that team, 2 through 53, can win a Super Bowl. And so they showed an interesting stat during the broadcast about he has now over 200 consecutive regular season pass attempts without throwing a pick. The fly in that ointment is in the playoff game he threw 3. You know what I mean? And so not a fly in the ointment, but the kind of the added piece to it. Because adding Micah Parsons, and I want to talk for a minute about Micah Parsons. The all of a sudden much maligned, how good is he in big games? Look at his stats. Actually, the run game, he hurts you, Micah Parsons. When Micah came into the league and people were saying, reminds you of Lawrence Taylor. If you guys remember, I said, you have to become Von Miller. Then you can try to become Derek Thomas. Right. And then you can get to the Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor. Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. He is, to me, on the Derek Thomas tier. The wreck the game as a pass rusher, even in plays that he gets no numbers because of how much attention you have to give him and how much he makes everyone else's job easier. So that plus Hafley, if Jordan Love plays clean football, that's the best team in the NFC.
Brew, can I show you a tweet that I think reiterates that, but I want your take on? Abdul Carter, obviously Penn State alum, along with Micah. Rushers are the new QBs. We impact the game in winning just as much. Micah proved it last night. I don't think he's trying to be hyperbolic there. Not quite QBs, but I think, the salary is starting to come in line with your effect on the game. What did you think of Abdul Carter's tweet?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't put him on the level of the quarterbacks, but he is right. I mean, Nick showed the videos where Micah completely affected those plays, whether you get to the guy or not. And the fact that they had to double and triple team him, of course, opens everything up for Rashawn Gary and the other guys on the defensive side. So Micah's huge. And to Nick's point, because Nick and I have laughed about this, all of us, I never heard anyone question Micah against the run before he was traded. All right, and last night, the Washington Commanders, who ran for 220 some odd yards the week before against a defense we expect to be good in the New York Giants, had 51 yards rushing last night.
Yep.
And the week before that, Detroit, which has a strong running game, had 46. They have not even given up 100 yards total on the ground in 2 games against playoff teams.
And Brew,
he's not hurting the run.
Brew, I know you don't follow Wilds on Twitter, but you should consider it. He had a good tweet last night that I want to add to. The sneaky winner of last night was the Lions, and the big-time loser was the Giants. Because the Giants got absolutely...
You went a step further.
Right. Yeah. The Giants got embarrassed by Washington, who then got embarrassed by Green Bay. And the Lions, it's like, hey, maybe this is what Green Bay is doing to teams right now.
Friend of the show, Peter Schrager, writes, Detroit and Washington both averaged 30 points a year ago, combined for 31 points in 2 weeks.
Total,
Tough. All right, on the Commander side, Jalen threw for 200, only had 17 rushing yards because it doesn't look like anyone can run on the Packers. Should Jalen be more concerned?
I don't know that he should be concerned. Listen, if there is such a thing as like a schedule loss in the NFL, I think the first Thursday night game on the road is a really tough spot. And so in that regard, I'm not surprised Washington lost. Where they should be concerned, Greg, is like I said, maybe the Giants are just really, really bad, and the Washington improved defense isn't quite as improved. But more importantly is they suffered real injuries yesterday. Dietrich Wise appears to be done for the season. That was a big addition for them on the defensive front. Austin Eckler sadly appears to be done for the season and maybe longer. Like those aren't any of their 5 most important players, but they're both in their top 15. Like those are both guys that they were counting on contributions for. They traded away Brian Robinson, and you know what I mean? Because they love Bill Krosky-Merritt, and they had Eckler. So I just think it was a damaging game from the injuries front, and the defense was going to be a question all year.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. Like, we found out a lot about their secondary. Number one being Marshawn Lattimore. Is he going to have any glimpse of being the player we saw in New Orleans?
Man.
I don't think so. But to Jaden's perspective, and when we look at Jaden, like, Jeff Hafley needs to get credit, and he's going to get credit, but the Packers switched it completely up. Against Detroit, they had 3 linebackers. They went base defense most of the game. Because you have a guy like Jaden Daniels, you go nickel. That's adding another corner. That's somebody that can then help with contain of a guy like Jaden Daniels in the run game and as well as covering the passing game. So he's going to see different looks every single week from week to week because teams respect him. They know who he is. So it's going to be a challenge. I'm not concerned. He ran up against a really good defense.
Commanders host the Raiders next Sunday.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.